Today we are very excited to be interviewing Gideon Shalwick. Gideon is quite simply Mr. Video. He has established himself as a leading authority on video creation and video blogging through his rapid video blogging and Become a Blogger websites. Gideon has also recently launched a video animation site, Splashio.com. So if you're using videos, then Splashio offers a great range of intros and other features to help give your videos an extra edge. So if you're considering using video, or if you're unsure about how to create and use videos for your business, then Gideon is the one person who will be able to show you exactly how to do this in a language that you will definitely understand. Gideon, a very big welcome.
Hello and welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. I'm really excited to be on the call with you and to share with you a bit of experience that I've built up over the last few years, and hopefully that's useful to everyone watching and listening.
Excellent. Could we start with that? Could you give us a little bit of background as to how you got started, how you discovered video, and how you've really managed to achieve what you have achieved?
Okay, right. I guess my business story begins about 8 years ago or so, where I was back in New Zealand with my wife Tineke, and in a normal day job, and it was a good job and paying well. We both had our day jobs, both earning a healthy salary, but I was feeling a sense of uneasiness within the job. So for our situation, there were a few things that didn't seem right for us. One was that we always felt that we were building an asset for someone else, and we were really interested in building our own asset. The other one was the day we'd stop working would be also the day that we'd stop getting paid. But very importantly, the third one was that we felt that we couldn't really live out our creativity the way that we wanted to. We felt a little bit restricted in our current jobs. Now, I don't have anything against a job. Of course, it's a wonderful way for building wealth if you're clever with your money. But we just wanted a bit more of a challenge for ourselves. So we decided to quit our jobs and immigrate to Australia. Within a month of making that decision, we arrived in Australia without any jobs. Well, actually, my wife Tineke, she had a job. I didn't have a job. In fact, I couldn't actually get a job in Australia. But Tineke was really good. She got a job really, really quick. And so, that was the beginning for me in terms of getting started. And the first business that I got into was an internet-based business where I was required to create my own product. It was a digital product. I had to write a book and then create the website and the sales letter and find a promotion partner to get it going. And that went really well. Very quickly that book got distributed to over around about 177 different countries around the world. This was about 6 years ago. So it was just as the internet marketing scene was getting started. YouTube was just getting started. And so I had a little bit of success there. But then what happened was I ran out of traffic for that little site. It was really just a sales page selling the book for $47, and the fulfillment process after that. I think I used ClickBank back then. And so my first bit of traffic was through an affiliate, a joint venture partner. But then after that, I didn't know how to get more joint venture partners, and I didn't have a clue about getting search engine traffic or even paid traffic, any kind of traffic. So while I had some good sales at the beginning, the income just went right down. And Tineke was working. She's going, "What the heck are you doing? What's how are we going to pay the bills and all this sort of stuff?" It took me about 2 years to really figure it all out. For 2 years, we really didn't go out for dinner. We didn't buy any new clothes. We didn't have a car. We walked everywhere and used the public transport. But that to me was really an eye-opener, that I needed to figure out how to get traffic. And that's when I started interviewing some of the world's top internet marketers at the time, and I did it all on video. And so this is like 6 years ago.
You just sort of approached them over the net.
Yeah. Well, what I did was I actually for most of them I went to local and in Australia internet marketing events, and then afterwards I would just approach these guys and say, "Look, I'm doing this interview series. Would you be interested in being part of it?" And I had a 99.9% success rate, or 99% success rate. There's one guy that he he never said no, but he also didn't say yes. But everyone was keen to do the interview. I had a cool strategy that I used, and perhaps I can share that somewhere in the interview today, if you're interested. But these were the top guys, and so the challenge for me was doing it all on video.
Okay.
That project never actually went anywhere because the video thing was such a big challenge for me. I just tried to do too much too quickly. But what it did help me with was learn about video and the benefits of video, and then soon after that, how to use video to get traffic, which is the key thing that I was really looking for. Since then, I guess the rest is history. Then I did a project with Yaro Starak with Become a Blogger.
Okay.
We were partners for that project. That went really, really well. We launched, and within a week we had about 10,000 followers.
Wow.
We went from zero to about $20,000 in income per month. And so, that was, 5 years ago or so, 4 or 5 years ago that we did that. Wonderful success. And all of that was on video as well. So once again, we just used video for that business. The second project I did was, second big project at least, a successful one, was in the magic niche, where I teamed up with a local magician. And so I did all the marketing and the video marketing behind the scenes, and he did all the magic in front of the camera. And we took that business from the magician being not very well known even locally to an international phenomenon online. I think we had the biggest magic YouTube channel in Australia, and I'm not sure on this one, but quite likely the biggest, or at least most popular street magic channel on YouTube in the world. And we went from zero to about 50,000 email subscribers in I can't remember the time frame, but it was between 1 and 2 years. So that went really, really well as well. And all of our traffic for that business, about 90% was from YouTube. And then I launched rapid video blogging, and that was a fantastic launch as well, where I basically started teaching people what I've been doing online, based on this previous experience and successes that I've had. And now I'm busy with Splashio, which is sort of another evolution and a step in the evolution of what I've been doing.
I mean, always busy doing something.
Yeah, and I think that's quite reassuring in a way that people can hear from your experience, that as you say, that you started really, you had no experience, and you've managed to come this far in a very, very short space of time, really. I think that's a really sort of good positive story to hear.
I mean, we find that lots of people are frightened about getting in front of the camera, or they think video is not for them, that it's going to be super expensive. What's your view on what would you recommend to them?
Yeah,
get started on video.
Yeah, I think what you've just mentioned is definitely a big point of resistance for people. That there's this perception that video is difficult, that it takes long, and that it's expensive. Those three things are normally the sort of the sticking points for people. But I think those are fairly outdated ways of thinking. Today, perhaps it was valid 5 or 6 years ago when online video was just sort of getting started, YouTube, so forth. But today, with the kind of cameras you can get today, they're very affordable. They're not difficult to use at all. You can get video created very, very quickly. You can record a video on your iPhone and do the editing on the iPhone and upload it straight away, all in a very quick time frame. Yes, it's not expensive, it's not difficult, and it doesn't take long. I mean, it's super quick. It's once again, if you use something like your iPhone or another type of pocket camera, you can get it done really, really quickly and looking very professional as well. There's some really neat things you can do even with your iPhone to make things look very, very professional.
Good. I mean, I think we'll come on to equipment in a moment, but I think before we do that, I think the first stage where people really have a sort of a stumbling block is that they think, no one's going to really be interested in what I've got to say. I haven't got anything to say. I run a small business about I don't know what, but that's where they struggle. I think that apart from the confidence side of things, they just think, I just haven't got anything interesting to say. So what would you say to them? How can they sort of overcome that initial fear?
Good one, and it's a very valid one too, because I think we often doubt ourselves and how much we actually know about our industry.
Yeah.
And if you've been working in an industry, specific industry for a while, you just by just being immersed in that industry, you become a huge expert in comparison with people who are not in the industry. For example, your customers, they may not know all that much compared to how much you know. And I think that's something that we often underestimate. And I'll give you an example. This is probably about a year ago. I created a video. I created the video in my garage, and afterwards I did the editing, and I looked at it and I was going, I'm not sure about this video. I feel like that the content is not quite up there, and I'm not sure how people will actually receive it. They'll probably think this is too simple and too boring, and I had this massive hesitation before I uploaded the video, but I thought, I'll go ahead with it anyway. It's content, content is king. And this video turned out to be one of my most popular videos on my channel.
Wow.
And I think what it showed me was that we can often be quite critical of ourselves, but I think we don't give ourselves enough credit for how much we actually know about our industry, especially if we've been in it for quite a while. And the other thing is also, there's always going to be someone who knows more than you, and who will find your information perhaps a little bit boring or uninteresting. But the flip side of that is there's always going to be other people as well who know less than you, and who are less of an expert than you, and who will find your information very, very interesting. So I think you got to look at who are you talking to. You're not talking to people who will find your information boring or uninteresting or uninspiring or whatever. You're talking to those other people who do find it interesting and who do find it inspiring. And so you talk to those people when you create your videos, and that makes a huge difference.
So things like starting off, for example, with frequently asked questions, just breaking things down into chunks. As you say, people are looking for that information, and if you can just break it down into little chunks, is that something that they could use, for example?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even just doing something like a frequently asked questions type of thing on your website, and you do it through video.
Yeah.
So you can do it through text as well, but that's a nice opportunity to connect better with your audience. And I think that's one of the key things about video, is that it helps you connect with people so much better than you can do with just text and audio. I'm not sure how you guys first found out about me, whether it was through a text-based blog post or an email, or whether that led to perhaps a video.
It was through YouTube.
Yeah.
So you saw me first. You could see me, and you could see words coming out of my mouth. It wasn't
getting started on how to do your own videos. And I remember watching that one in your garage, and I did find it quite amusing.
Fun one. I mean, it was so good. But I bet when you watch that video, it builds some sort of a relationship with you, with you knowing about it. And I think the more video you do, and the more you can connect with your target audience through video, eventually the better your conversions will be as well. And I think that's one of the huge things that people often miss as well. They don't realize that there's this massive connection that you can have with your target audience. And when you have that connection, your conversion rates just shoot through the roof.
No, people like to see the real you, they like the simplicity. Another question I wanted to ask, lots of people also worry about giving away too much valuable information through videos. What's your view on that?
Well, I think there's different models online. Obviously, if you have a purely information-based business, then you do have to think about where do you draw the line when it comes to the free information that you give away. I think it was Eben Pagan that talked about the free line in your business. If you could imagine a funnel, there's a line there where you have free stuff, and then below that line there's things that people pay money for. And one of the arguments was that the further you can move that free line down, the more people you can get into your funnel that can later get down to your more expensive but for product type businesses, if it's purely information product based, that you reserve some things that you can charge money for, if that's your business model. And sometimes it's difficult to know where exactly that is. Personally, I don't think you can ever run out of information. You can always go into more detail with what information there is, and perhaps you leave the more detailed stuff for paying members. One other way of doing it is to break it up into two types of content. The free stuff is all about the what, and the paid stuff is all about the how, or the how-to. That's one way of doing it. Another model, which I think is a very valid model too, is to make all your information free, all of it, and but then have something else that you charge money for. So for example, you guys are in the hosting business. One possible strategy is to have lots of training information that's complementary to your hosting service, but make that all free and use that as a like a lead generator to drive more people to your hosting business. And similarly for other service-based businesses or software businesses, perhaps they could make all the information free and even have some really advanced training, but make that free and use that as a lead generator and relationship building tool to get people into using the other products and services inside your business.
Yeah. Good point. Good points. Very good. Yeah. So let's say we've got some videos together. Now, I mean, everyone knows about YouTube, but is YouTube the only sort of video distribution site, or are there other ones that you would use? Vidler, Vimeo, that type of thing.
It depends what you want to use it for. There's a lot of sites have actually fallen away over the last few years since it all started. I break it up into two kinds of videos. For me, there's the traffic and relationship building type of videos. That's the one area, and then there are the more behind the scenes kind of videos, like your sales videos or your promotional videos and your membership site content videos or your product videos, basically. So those two areas, the traffic, relationship, and more fulfillment kind of stuff, the sales and membership videos or product videos. When it comes to the traffic and relationship building videos, there's only one site for me, and that's YouTube. There's really no contest there. Some people like syndicating their videos to many other video sites as well. I looked at that years ago, and I did use it for a while, but I've moved away from that now. I can't remember the last time that I actually used that strategy.
Is that because you find it maybe it's a bit spammy? Is that, or is it just not the best use of your time?
I think a bit of when I did use it initially, I didn't really see any great significant increase in traffic to my sites. And like you said, I think it is a bit spammy. I mean, if you think about what actually happens if you syndicate your same video out to 10 or 20 different video sites, exactly the same content, what does that do to the internet? It kind of just clogs it up, and it's not really, if you don't have this nice focused approach where you provide great content to one site and you have a conversation, you build a following on one site like you can on YouTube, I think it's a bit of a waste of time, and you kind of just clogging up the the space. Sometimes there is perhaps a case for it, and that's perhaps if you have like something really amazing to share, and you want to share it on different platforms where there are different audiences. But once again, it's not something that I've really focused on much. For me, my strategy is especially in terms of traffic and building a relationship, I purely focus on YouTube, and just upload content there and keep the conversation just there and build the following on YouTube, the conversation on YouTube, and the relationships on YouTube. That's just critical. Because, they're the 800-pound gorilla, there's, in terms of getting, viewership and traffic and building a relationship, there's no one that even comes close to that. In terms of paid content or your more promotional type of videos, at the moment I'm using Vimeo Pro. It's a wonderful service. I'm not sure if you guys have used Vimeo Pro before, but it's dirt cheap. I think it's something like $99 for the year. You get 250 gigabytes, I think. Oh, sorry, 250,000 views, and I think you get 50 gigabytes. That's right. But that's a ton, really. That's a added benefit, of course, is that you can, they take care of all the different formats that need to get served to all the different devices. That take care of all the, the bandwidth issues, so that it doesn't, so the buffer is okay and it doesn't start and stop. So they take care of that. Previously to that, I used Amazon S3, and it's still a valid way. But it's complicated. It's you've got to upload all the different formats. I know just recently there's a service that helps you get it into different kind of formats. But it's just a hassle. When you use a site like Vimeo Pro, it just takes care of all that stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
There are others like Wistia as well. It's a very good one. I haven't really used.
We have
but
used it. It's really good.
Yeah,
Really
we're using it at the moment. We like it, especially the sort of analytics and that type of thing.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about that. So if analytics is important to you for your videos, then absolutely. Of course, Vidler is another one as well. I guess those are, in my mind, the top three in terms of, other than Amazon S3 to try and host your videos in a more professional way.